Hi everybody and a warm welcome to our Wave Italy Professional Training Center. Passion, full dedication, professional competence are the key points that move me and my team day by day in the effort to deliver the best driving simulation experience. As many of you already know, our technical and R&D headquarters is in Maranello, the famous land of motorsport. But today we are in our location in Verona, where we created a new proposal for the training of professional pilots.
Nice to meet you. I am a professional racing driver and professional coach. I was kart world champion in the Endurance Series, and I race and test many different racing cars, including Ferrari Formula 1. I have been working with simulators for years to improve my technique and to train a lot of talented drivers. Now I tell you what we can do for you. Here we have two professional simulators that can work together, so I can help you to simulate some different racing situations, as the start, overtaking different parts of the circuit, how to defend your position, and the most important, how to be consistent under pressure. With our know-how, we have developed the physical model of the vehicles with maximum accuracy. With this training, you will improve your skills and your sensibility. Our tracks are in laser scan, and we also develop the different weather conditions. We can also work together with our live telemetry. I can watch many data and channels and tell you immediately what is fine and what you have to do better. You can train every day, and I look forward to passing you all my experience to help reach your best results. Remember, great results need hard training. I am ready, and you?
Okay then, thanks for your attention. We are ready to welcome you here. We do our best to have the champion of today and tomorrow. Ciao and see you soon.
Like a child, you wanna keep it, but your shiny eyes reveal the simple truth.
For only €5 a month, experience every high-definition moment on your TV, tablet, phone or PC. Great teams, great moments, and so much more. TSN from Melita is your ticket to stay in the game. Visit melita.com/sports.
A good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome here for round number 2 of the World Pro Racing Wave Italy V8 Championship. My name is Felix van Delft, and I will be your commentator for tonight. Running the broadcast, we've got Justin Mifsud. Race director of today is Adrian Figallo, and stewarding, we have George Muscat. We're here at the Albert Park Street Circuit in Melbourne, looking to get a great race going for tonight. About 19 drivers on the track at the moment. Just started the official practice session, getting ready to set their qualifying times after this practice session, of course. The Albert Park Street Circuit, of course, a 5.3 kilometer long track, 16 corners to navigate, and definitely a big challenge for the drivers today. As it's a street circuit, of course, the walls are pretty close to the track, so if you make a mistake, you're bound to end up in one of them. So drivers have to be very precise with these V8 supercars, which are not that easy to drive. 650 horsepower under their hood, so definitely some beasts on the racetrack today. Now, as this is round 2, we've already had a round before this, which was won in total by Adam Pinches. He won both of the races last time around. Ross McFarlane finishing second in both of the races. And third in the first race, we had Daniel Stremer, and third in the second race, Gerard Martinez. So those two drivers are both sharing third place at the moment. And then in fifth place at the moment, we have Sheldon Muscat with 22 points. So let's see who's going to be coming out in front today. After a 10-minute qualifying session, we will be jumping into a 30-minute race. Obviously, I would take Adam Pinches as favorite, winning both of the races last time around. At the moment in the practice session, just having a quick look at him, already quickest in the session by quite a bit of a margin. But of course, that's still all to be changed. We've only had a few minutes of this practice session done. But let's have a look at what Adam Pinches is able to do on the racetrack at the moment. Like I said, the street circuit nature of this track. Walls are very close to the track, so mistakes are definitely very costly. Now just exiting turn 10 there, Adam Pinches. Definitely looking to get some nice lap times in. This quick left-right section, the turn 11, turn 12, can be very difficult to get right. You just need to get the turn in just about right. Don't understeer too much wide, because otherwise you miss the second apex. Of course, you don't want to go too slow, because you will lose the lap time then. Double right-hander of turn 13 and 14. And then hard braking for the second to last corner. Setting yourself up to get a nice run out of the last corner, because you take all the speed with you down the start-finish straight. And then you will start another lap. Braking hard into turn 1 around 150 meters, taking the inside apex, then on the throttle again. You want to take as much speed as possible down the second straight up to fifth gear, about 240 kilometers an hour, braking hard for turn number 3. And then the parking area section. Very quick couple of corners here in turn 5, 6 and 7. Hard braking and turning it in. Try to not run too wide, because you will get onto the grass and lose a bit of time. Then long run again, coming up to turn number 9. A lot of chicane style corners on this track, so perhaps offering an opportunity for drivers to make some overtakes by outbraking their competitors in the race. That's if they can get close enough, of course. We've seen that Adam Pinches is very dominant in these cars, at least last time around. At the moment, he's also improving his personal best lap time. Again, he's already half a second quicker than Ross McFarlane was in his best lap. And Pinches is starting to improve. Now McFarlane at the moment about half a second quicker than Pinches in the standings. Let's see what Pinches is able to do coming out of that last corner. Running to the line. Don't think it's going to be enough though. He does improve. but it's not enough to get up to the lap time of Ross McFarlane. McFarlane showing that he's got the pace in the practice session so far. I'm sure he'll want to take some payback from last time around where Adam Pinches pretty much just ran away with the competition. No real chance for McFarlane to challenge him for that first place. Had some nice battles with the driver in third place in the second race last time around. With Gerard Martinez, it was a very close run to the finish line. Very nice racing, so hopefully we can see some of that again today. But first, we're gonna have to wait for the practice session and then the qualifying session. Some more drivers on the track, of course. Nathan Mifsud, one of them, currently in fourth place. Best lap time over 1:56.5, so almost 4 seconds slower than what McFarlane and Adam Pinches are able to do. Field is pretty spread out at the moment. Perhaps not all the drivers being able to set their best lap times just yet. As Nathan comes through turn 11 and 12 there. He's definitely improving on his personal best lap time, so I'm sure that he's gonna get closer to Adam Pinches and Ross McFarlane. Of course, Gerard Martinez, somebody to keep an eye out as well. Finishing fourth and third last time around, as the practice session is almost over now, so drivers just finishing their final attempts, making sure they're absolutely ready for that 10-minute qualifying session. Practice now officially over and we're just waiting to jump into the qualifying session. At the moment, quickest in the practice session, we had Ross McFarlane with a 1:52.7. Right behind that, with a 1:52.9, it was Adam Pinches. Then Gerard Martinez with a 1:54.1, and Dean Vella 1:54.7. Then finishing off the top five, Nathan Mifsud with a 1:56.5. So like I said, it's going to be very close between Ross McFarlane and Adam Pinches for pole position, I think. Unless we can see Gerard Martinez or any of the other drivers improve by quite a lot to challenge them for that first position on the grid coming into the race. And we jump into that qualifying session now. So all the drivers will be heading out of the pit lane as soon as possible to try and set their lap times. Obviously, you want a bit of clean air. You don't want to have a driver right in front of you when you start your qualifying lap. So you have to be mindful of that in your out lap. I believe the first driver that's going to be starting his lap is actually Adam Pinches already. So let's have an eye out on him, see what he's able to do in his first attempt. Now just on his out lap, trying to make sure the car is ready for that hot lap. Perhaps warming the tires, warming the brakes a little bit, making sure they're all up to temperature in their optimum tire temperature range and brake temperature range. Interesting, interesting little fact. Most of the drivers are using the Holden car here, as we have two cars available for the drivers, the Holden and the Ford. Almost everybody is using the Holden, including McFarlane and Pinchas, but a few drivers like Nathan Vella and Chris Vella and Gerrit Martinez using the Ford. But let's jump into the hot laps. Adam Pinchas starting his first qualifying lap, braking hard into turn 1, heading the inside apex nicely, getting the rotation through turn 2, all the speed you can get down the back straight, braking hard into turn 3, trying to hit the inside apex, missing it a little bit there, not the best run. Now through turn 4, run through there, turn 5 and 6, high speeds, trying not to run too wide, looking good through there, braking hard again for turn number 6 on the power for 7, flat out through here, long right-hander, then again coming into a hard braking zone, trying to hit the inside apex nicely there. Back onto the power, a little bit of oversteer moment there coming out of turn 10. Doesn't seem to lose too much because of it now. Very high speed corners. Left and right he goes. Looking pretty stable through there. Once again, a bit of a straight. And then a hard braking zone. Down to third gear. Slightly missing the inside apex there, but I don't think that's too much of a loss for him. It's more important here to get the line just about right. Looking good through there, then second to last corner, turning it in. Wants to get a good run out of here, of course. Final corner on the power. And then coming to the start-finish line, let's see what he's able to do. It is a 1:52.7 for Adam Pinchas. I believe about as quick as Ross McFarlane did in the practice session. Ross McFarlane just finishing his lap with 1:53.1. Daniel Stremair with 1:52.8. Just 0.08 of a second behind Adam Pinchas. Very close there. And Nathan Mifsud on his first lap did a 1:54.2. About 1.5 seconds slower than Pinchas, and Dean Vella almost 2 seconds slower than Pinchas in 5th place. Now most of the drivers, I believe, going out or staying on track for another lap straight away, not coming into the pit lane to try and get some fresh tires, just continuing on. Of course, very short qualifying, only 10 minutes, so you don't really have time to do a lot of outlaps. Drivers to keep an eye out on. Definitely Ross McFarlane. I think he has shown that he had the pace in practice. Didn't really have the best lap here on his first lap in qualifying, but perhaps the second one is going to be the one that gets him on the provisional pole position at least. He's just exiting turn 10 now. Hitting the brakes hard. This is where Pinchas didn't really hit the inside apex. Same for McFarlane. But I don't think he lost any time because of it. Looking good so far. I think he's going to at least improve his personal best. This is going to be enough to challenge Pinchas for that pole position. On the power he goes. Down the start-finish straight. What is it going to be for Ross McFarlane? 1:52.8. Also very close to Adam Pinchas. And also extremely close to Daniel Stremair. Only 0.03 of a second between the two. So extremely close between the top 3 at the moment. Stremair wasn't able to finish his previous lap. And also not on his current lap, so he'll have to do another outlap and then do another hot lap after the. Pinchas improving in the first sector at the moment. looking to get a shot to improve his personal best. McFarlane, same purple first sector for him. I think the second sector is where he lost most of the time compared to Adam Pinches. Pinches made a bit of a mistake in that second sector, lost a few tenths. McFarlane now looking strong through there. But I believe McFarlane just backed out, lifting a bit through turn 9 and 10. Perhaps trying to line himself up for the next lap. I believe he's able to do about 2 more laps, so this next lap and 1 more after that, and then it's a done deal for this qualifying session. First to start his lap again is Adam Pinches. He is the one that's got to defend the pole position. And Strummer and McFarlane are going to be the ones that will be challenging that 152.7 of Adam Pinches. Strummer has a good run through turn 1. Perhaps looking to improve on his personal best here. Braking hard for turn 3. Bit of traffic in front of him. Hopefully that doesn't really disturb him too much. As Pinches just set a purple first sector. Strummer is still going strong through that first sector, but still has that traffic in front of him. Hopefully it either gets out of the way. Yeah, there we go. So I don't think he lost too much time because of it. Strummer improving on his personal best there in the first sector. Pinches not the best second sector for him, but so not the worst. Perhaps able to improve his personal best. Strummer very strong through this second sector. Compared to Pinches and Ross McFarlane, he's almost a second quicker through there, half a second compared to Pinches. I think McFarlane not really on a personal best time at the moment, so perhaps the next lap is going to be the one for him to try. And same thing for Daniel Strummer. Now in the last sector, not really improving at his personal best at the moment. And indeed setting himself up to do 1 more attempt. 20 seconds remaining in this qualifying session. Then obviously everybody that's already on a lap is allowed to finish it. Pinches into the pits, by the way, so he won't be doing another lap. He will be watching from the sidelines and hoping that neither Strummer or McFarlane will improve on their lap times. Gerard Martinez in 4th, also in the pits, so he will not be improving his lap time as well. So Strummer through that first sector, that is his weak point at the moment. The first sector, but the second sector, that's where he shows he is quicker than at least Adam Pinches and Ross McFarlane. McFarlane, decent first sector. Remember, they only need 800ths of a second. They don't need much, but it seems that they just can't really get the perfect lap together. Pinches just a bit too strong overall. McFarlane on a personal improvement in the second sector. Now, this is going to be the important part. The last sector, as he needs to just try and get everything together now in these last couple of corners. Strummer, I think, has bailed out. He has no chance. But I think McFarlane is on a pretty good chance here. Coming through the second to last corner. Run out of the last corner is going to be very important for him. On the power, out of the last corner. I think this is going to be it for Ross McFarlane. Coming to the line. What is it going to be? A 1 minute 52.6, 1.5 tenths quicker than Adam Pinches, and Ross McFarlane will therefore be starting from pole position here at the Albert Park Street Circuit. Great qualifying session, very close between the top three. Ross McFarlane is the one that's going to be starting from pole position. We will be right back after a small advertisement break to jump into the race session. So just stick with us and we will be right back.
Hi everybody and a warm welcome to our Wave Italy Professional Training Center. Passion, full dedication, professional competence are the key points that move me and my team day by day in the effort to deliver the best driving simulation experience. As many of you already know, our technical and R&D headquarters is in Maranello, the famous land of
And welcome back everyone to the second round of the World Pro Racing Wave Italy VA Championship. We're jumping right into the race session as we are waiting for the lights to come up here in Melbourne. As we are getting the lights, we've got all 5 of them and they are out, and it is a good start, I believe, for Adam Pinches, already challenging Ross McFarlane coming into turn 1. Danny Ostremir on the outside, perhaps. No, Ross McFarlane keeping P1 out of turn 1, but doesn't have a great run out of turn 2. Adam Pinches, therefore, going around the outside of turn 2 and taking the lead for now, coming into turn 3. Perhaps Ross McFarlane coming back in the braking zone. No, has to back into the toe of Adam Pinches, and having to concede that second place to the Hungarian driver Adam Pinches. Great run out of that first couple of corners for him, and a great start of the race once again for Pinches. Ross McFarlane will definitely not be happy with himself there because of that run through turn 2. Further down the field, everybody seems to have gotten through first couple of corners cleanly. Battle for P10. All these drivers very bunched up to each other. Right there we saw in P13 Michael Butler battling very hard. A couple of drivers side by side coming up to turn 10. Tucking behind each other now. This is definitely not a corner where you want to go through side by side. Ross McFarlane still P2, Adam Pinches leading the race after that first lap. And Stremmer now looking to put some pressure on Ross McFarlane as well. We saw these top 3 drivers being very close to each other when qualifying. So they definitely will be close in the race as well. At least that's what I expect. Pinches finishing that first lap. And now we'll be focusing on trying to increase that gap to Ross McFarlane once again, like he did in the first round, in the first 2 races of the first round. Just ran away from McFarlane and Stremair. But at the moment, the gap between them not really extending. McFarlane actually putting some pressure on Pinches. Pinches going very slow out of turn 3 there. Made some contact with Ross McFarlane. McFarlane may be able to try and challenge him coming into turn number 6. Very close to his rear bumper here. Braking late. Pinches stays in front just for now. McFarlane very close behind him though. And I'm sure he's not going to give up that easily. Even with a bit of a mistake in that first lap, he will be trying to get back into P1, of course. But Pinches will be defending as hard as he can. We expect nothing less from him, of course. Now further down the field, it seems that there's been a bit of a spin from Michael Martin, dropping down the field. He'll have to do some catching up. McFarlane, again, very close to Pinches here, coming through the last couple of corners. Pinches having to take the defensive lines, slowing down, and Stremair is also closing in very quickly behind them now. McFarlane doesn't have the best run through the last corner there. That allows Stremair to get really close. Perhaps able to have a look coming into turn 1. Or perhaps out of turn 1 coming into turn 3 after the straight. If Stremair gets a good run through here. But I think McFarlane's car is pretty strong through that first couple of corners. And indeed, Stremair not really able to challenge him. As for now, Pinches has a little bit of breathing room now. But not too much. McFarlane still only 8/10 behind him. So McFarlane ran a little bit right through turn 5 there. Again, losing a little bit of time to Stremair. Perhaps overdriving the car slightly. Just pushing the tires a little bit too much and then running wide and then losing the time, of course. You don't want to do that. That's just playing into the hands of Adam Pinches. A little bit further back, Gerard Martinez also not too far behind, only 2.3 seconds behind him. And then Nathan Mifsud almost 4 seconds behind this leader group of Adam Pinches, Ross McFarlane and Daniel Stremair. Pinches now once again coming out of the last corner. Seems that McFarlane has a better run through here. But I don't think he's close enough this time around to really challenge Pinches coming into turn 1. No, he's not. So he has to find a way to line himself up and try to find a way past this Hungarian driver. Proven himself already on 2 occasions last time around. And proving so far that he is indeed one of the quickest drivers of this field, if not the quickest of the field at the moment. Down in P8 and P9 we've got Christian Ebier and Sheldon Muscat battling for 8th place. Very close to each other, side by side almost, coming into turn number 7. Somebody in the YouTube chat is asking what sim this is. This is Assetto Corsa, Alan. Down in P10, Sheldon Muscat and Dominic Holmes and Chris Vella are battling very hard. Dominic there had to back out coming into turn number 10 as they almost made contact and crashed. You don't want to do that, of course. Battle for P8 also still very feisty between Kirsten Abier and Sheldon Muscat. And of course, we don't want to forget about the battle for the lead. McFarlane still keeping up with Pinches. Pinches not increasing the gap like he did in round 1. Dominic Holmes in P10 now able to keep Michael Butler behind him. Chris Vella stretching out in the front. And battle for the lead now. Daniel Stremer dropping back a little bit. Starting to lose some time compared to the top 2, Adam Pinches and McFarlane. McFarlane still very close to that rear bumper of Adam Pinches. He's trying to just stick with him, put the pressure on him, perhaps trying to force him into a little mistake. We saw last time around that Pinches had some struggles with the tires in the later stages of the race. Or at least he lost some pace in the later stages of the race. So perhaps McFarlane trying to play into that hand, trying to just conserve his tires, trying to not push too much, push Pinches into mistake, try to push Pinches to push harder on his tires, and then perhaps at the end of the race start to feel them dropping off more and then make that move. Still 20 minutes remaining. So everything's still to be fought for. Again, through this first sector, we see McFarlane just closing in. But this is gonna be enough. It seems that Pinches has the better run always through the second sector and the last sector, and then just heads out a little bit further to McFarlane than McFarlane would want. This time around though, McFarlane has a good run out of turn 8. Perhaps able to make a move here? No. But very close, I think as close as he has been for a while. And in the background, Stremer beginning to lose time more and more. This is the important bit for Ross McFarlane. He needs to close in to Pinches just enough so that he can use the draft out of the last corner to perhaps make a move into the first corner, or line himself up after that for a move into turn 3. So this is the most important bit. He's very close to the rear bumper here. If he gets a good run, might be able to do something. Isn't the best, but the closest he's been down the start-finish straight for a while. Braking hard for turn 1. This is where he lost the lead on that first lap, of course. But he's too far back this time once again to really make a move into turn 3 as well. Pinches still improving on his personal lap times as well in the meantime, so it's definitely not that he's slowing down. He just did a purple first sector this lap and looking very quick through this second sector as well, so McFarlane just keeping up with him. Best lap time of Pinches so far has been a 53.17 and McFarlane did a 53.4, so in theory, we would think Pinches is the quicker of the two, of course. It's difficult to say as McFarlane is behind Pinches. Doesn't really have the clean air as he has the car in front of him. But the same pattern is emerging a bit. We see McFarlane closing up through all of Sector 2 and Sector 3, but then really not able to make that move into turn 1 or turn 3 where you would expect him to want to make that move out of the last corner again. Just losing a little bit of time compared to Pinches. And then not being close enough to really make that move coming into turn 1. Now out of turn 2. Same thing again, I think. Too far back to really challenge Pinches for that lead, but still a very close battle. Any mistake from Adam Pinches will give back the lead to Ross McFarlane. So Pinches needs to be very careful. But in the meantime, of course, still quick because McFarlane is so close behind. As we are coming close to the halfway mark of this race. After this lap, 15 minutes to go. And the top 5 is also starting to look a bit feisty. Nathan Mifsud, Alex Alive and Dean Vella pretty close to each other on track. They will perhaps start battling a little bit. Alex Life has been a bit quicker than Nathan Mifsud. So perhaps Life will be looking to get past Mifsud in the next coming laps. Ross McFarlane is coming out of the last corner at the moment. Let's see if he is able to do anything. At the meantime, P8, there's a battle for between Christian Ebier and Chris Vella, side by side, coming into turn 13. Ebier keeping the position, but a big oversteering moment there, coming out of the corner, side by side, a bit of bumping there, coming out of turn 14, the inside line, trying to keep for Chris Vella. Very hard racing between these two drivers. Oh, and Chris Vella spins the car around in the second to last quarter, losing out there to Christian Ebier, but now Michael Butler right behind him is also trying to make a move happen. Very close to the back of Christian Ebier now coming into turn 1. Butler trying to look for a gap up the inside here, coming into turn 6. Turn 3. Not really the place to do so from that far back. But he's definitely looking very feisty. Let's keep a small lookout on the drivers in front. Ross McFarlane still not able to really make a move. Michael Butler very close to the back of ABR. Perhaps able to make a move coming into turn 10. Having a look. Ooh, a big mistake there from Christian ABR onto the grass. And that allows Michael Butler to go past, and ABR spins on the rejoin into the wall. That's gonna hurt his car for sure. Damage on the front bumper probably. He's able to continue, but definitely not the way you want to race. To stay out of the walls, of course. Now Nathan Mifsud coming under more pressure from Alex Live. Battles all over the place at the moment. Difficult to keep track of everything, so sorry if we missed anything. Pinches and the lead, still keeping McFarlane behind him as well. A battle for P5. Very close still. Dean Vella, Alex Live and Nathan Mifsud. Only a few tenths between them on the track. For the lead, it seems that Pinches has been able to just get a little bit of a gap now compared to McFarlane. McFarlane perhaps dropping off a little bit now. Daniel Stremer has dropped off quite a bit, but still has quite a lot of breathing room to get Martinez behind him. He's not really able to challenge for the podium today as he did last time around. Now the battle for P10. Christian ABR. No, that's Chris Vella and Michael Butler battling. Coming out of turn number 10, sorry. Side by side coming into 11. And this is going to be a difficult corner to go side by side with. Somebody's going to have to back out. And that is Michael Butler that backs out, at least for now. Might get a good run here out of turn number 12. Might be able to do a move into 13. He's close enough, I think. He's having a look. Heartbreaking. Might be able to just sneak up the inside there. Yes, he does. Great move there from Michael Butler, moving himself up to P9. Now Chris Vella having a look. Ooh, sliding for Butler. It spins around and tapping Chris Vella as he does so. Vella now has to turn back around. I think Butler is trying to wait for him. Very sportsmanlike from him. His mistake caused Chris Vella to spin there, but perhaps Vella a bit too far back, and that allowed Christian Abier to also get past him now. Back in the front was McFarlane, not close enough to Pinches once again. But a lot of battling happening here today, and a lot of mistakes as well from drivers, just running wide, spinning around. Now Michael Butler is looking to get past Christian Abier as Chris Vella has dropped back down to P12, even behind Dominic Holmes. Now Michael Butler coming out of turn 8, looking to make the move into turn 9. Around the outside perhaps of Christian Abier. No, tries to switch Abier again onto the grass there. This is the second time that he loses time because of going onto the grass there. Now has to watch out for Dominic Holmes behind him as well. Michael Butler into P9. And Christian Abier having to defend from Dominic Holmes coming out of turn 12 now. Dominic Holmes looking up the inside into 13. Late braking for the both of them. Inside line for Dominic Holmes. Seems that he has the position done. Indeed. Maybe Butler able to try and get past him. Ooh, bit of contact there. Into the final corner. Now they go. Ooh, big slide there from Dominic Holmes and loses the position once again to Christian Abier. In the meantime, Michael Butler running away in the front. As these two drivers are battling very hard. Dominic Holmes now losing a bit of time. And back at the front, McFarlane losing more time to Pinches. Pinches now really starting to pick up the pace compared to McFarlane and increasing the gap to almost 1.5 seconds right now. Back in P5, P6 and P7, Nathan Mifsud, Dean Vella and Alex Leifer are still battling at it. Alex actually lost the position to Dean Vella there. The incident between ABR and Holmes will be investigated after the race, as I just heard from Race Direction. Oh, and a big spin there for Michael Butler. Into the wall he went there. Not sure exactly what happened, as I just picked up after I saw him into the wall, but perhaps a mistake once again from him. And that definitely loses him out. Yeah, again a mistake from Michael Butler and losing the positions to Dominic Holmes and Christian Abier. That's not what you want to do, of course. Now, Nathan Mifsud in P5, having to start to drive a bit more defensively as Dean Vella is starting to really close in. About 6 minutes to go in this race, so not that long. About 3 or 4 more laps to go. Coming into turn 9 now. Mifsud doing a great job in keeping the cars behind him. That might not be easy as he didn't have the best exit out of turn 10 here. Dean Vella having a look around the outside, not able to do so, but a bit of a lock up there from Mifsud. Is that going to hurt him out of turn 11 and 12? Yes, I think so. Dean Vella having a group run through there, perhaps being able to make a move coming into 13 now. Around the outside, late braking. That's not going to be easy, but if he managed to make it stick. Ooh, 3 wide guys. This is not going to work. And Dean Vella backs out of it. That allows Alex Live to go up the inside. Perhaps also around the outside of the penultimate corner here of Nathan Mifsud. Bit of wheel banging. Dean Vella having a look as well. Nathan Mifsud now on the outside of the last corner. And seems that he's able to keep the position, at least for this lap. But coming into turn 1 now, it's going to be the inside for Alex Live. Very close to each other. Almost 3 wide once again between these 3 drivers. 3 wide into turn 1 actually. Alex Live taking the position coming out of turn 2 there. But for how long is he going to be able to keep that position? Very, very close racing between these 3 drivers. But also pretty clean between them. Not much hitting each other. So great stuff from these drivers. And at the moment, Alex Live coming out in front in P5 now. And Nathan Mifsud P6 and Dean Vella P7. But I'm pretty sure Dean is going to try and take back that 6th position from Nathan. Coming out of turn 6 now. Into turn 9. Hard braking for Dean. Taking the inside, and Mifsud giving up that position now back into P7 for him. And the gap to Alex increased quite rapidly already through this first sector. But definitely a great bit of racing here between these three drivers. Back at the front, Adam Pinches and McFarlane still about a second between each other. Not much has changed. Pretty much the same all around. Pinches being able to keep that gap just big enough for McFarlane to not really able to make any moves on him. Oh, back in P5. Alex Live and Nathan Mifsud still at it. I think Live made a bit of a mistake that allowed Dean Vella to close in really closely. Oh, bit of a look up there from Vella. Losing a bit of time because of it. As we see some back markers, I think, here as well, getting out of the way nicely for them. Battle for P9 and P10 also going on. Christian Abier and Chris Vella very close to each other. This battle has been going on for pretty much the whole race as well. Dominic Hobbs was involved, but he's a bit too far back now this time. Christian Abier coming through turn 3. Vella very close to the back of him now. Coming out of turn 4. Great run for Chris Vella here through turn 5. Perhaps being able to move into the inside here in turn 6. No, but Christian Abier runs wide. Once again, third time this race that he's run wide onto the grass and loses a position because of it. Chris Vella up into P9. Abier not giving up easily though. Trying to have a peek up the inside coming into turn 9 and 10 there, but I think that's the position definitely lost for him now. Vella now has to do one more clean lap. I think the next lap is the final lap, as Vella is now in sector, or Adam Pinches, sorry, is now in sector 2. Abier locking up once again as he comes into turn 3 and 4. I think he won't be really able to get close enough to the back of Chris Vella to really challenge him again. Now though, the time has run out and Adam Pinches is still leading this race. I think this is going to be the finish of the race. Pinches, after a move around the outside of turn 2, after not the best start from Ross McFarlane, taking the victory here for the third time in a row. Adam Pinches wins the race here in the Wave Italy V8 Championship. Ross McFarlane finishing second for the third time in a row. And Daniel Stromaer taking third place for the second time. Gerard Martinez in fourth, actually closed the gap to Daniel Stromaer by quite a bit. Then in P5 we have Alex Live after a very feisty battle between him, Dean Vella and Nathan Mifsud. He comes out on top. Dean Vella will be finishing in 6th, and then Nathan Mifsud has to take P7. Battle for P9 and P10 is also not quite done yet. I believe Abier is too far back to really challenge him. Sheldon Muscat in P8 just finished the race. Now Vella coming through the second to last corner. ABR not close enough to challenge back. And has to concede with P10, who spins almost out of the last corner there. Manages to keep the car pointed in the right direction, but almost spinning into the wall there. The tires perhaps losing the grip at the end of the race there. But Vela taking the 9th place there, and ABR having to take P10. Dominic Holmes taking P11. Matthew Bugia P12. Michael Butler, after some mistakes, finishing in P13. Michael Martin in P14. Nathan Vela in P15. And that rounds up the drivers that finished this race. Definitely a very, very exciting race here today at the Albert Park Street Circuit. Pinches once again showing that he is perhaps the best driver on the track in these cars. And we just wait for the drivers to hop into the commentary box to do some interviews. As I believe we have Adam Pinches here with us now. At least I think so. Adam, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. So first of all, big congratulations, of course. 3rd win in a row for you. Just taking that first place after turn 2, after Ross made a bit of a mistake. After that pretty solid race for you, I guess. Just trying to not make any mistakes and keep up the pace.
Yeah, it was quite an intense race again. Yeah, I didn't manage to get pole again in the qualifying, so I definitely need to work on that later in the season. But yeah, my launch was good after the LED lights came off. But I switched to second too early, and then that's why almost Daniel overtook me as well on the outside. But after that, I managed to stay in the inside and then get a good launch from turn 1 somehow. I don't know how I managed to do that. Maybe Ross made a bigger mistake, and then that's why I was ahead of him after turn 2. So yeah, after that I just tried to manage the gap. I made a couple of mistakes here and there, especially in the braking zone, but yeah, overall it was a good win.
Yeah, we saw that that you mainly were able to keep the gap throughout most of the lap, sector 1 and sector 2, and then the sector 3, Ross would get a little bit closer, but then down the start-finish straight, he was always a bit too far back to really try and make a move into turn 1 or then after the second corner into turn 3. So yeah, I guess a great job for you for trying to manage that gap. Looking forward now to the next race. It's going to be Bagalo. Pretty different track compared to Albert Park, I guess. A lot less corners. I think it only has 7 corners and 3 pretty long straights. How are your views towards that?
Actually, I don't know the track, so I need to learn the track. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't know. I don't know the track, so yeah. I can't really comment that then.
Then we'll have to wait and see for you to perhaps try and challenge for the win again next race. But thank you for talking to us, and once again, congratulations.
Thank you. Can I say one more thing?
Sure, go ahead.
I would like to thank Barnum Martin, who is helping me making the setups and practice together. So it's definitely a huge help for me because I don't have a teammate. So Martin really helped me making the setup and able to be be good on the track. So yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Yeah, great stuff. Thank you. So moving on to Ross. Firstly, qualifying. We saw you were pretty much throughout the whole qualifying just a little bit too slow to really challenge Adam. But then the last lap, you managed to just get everything together and gained almost 2/10, I think, and just made that final jump to take the pole position. I guess everything just fell together in that last qualifying lap.
Yeah, I managed to put a better lap together. The previous ones, I made a few mistakes, in the first sector especially. I did notice throughout that Adam's car seems to have a bit of a better grip around the faster corners, and maybe my one has better traction in the slower corners. And eventually, once I got a good line through the fast corners and I was able to use my advantage, I managed to get that better lap in. So 3 for 3 pole positions, but I'm not very good at converting them yet.
Yeah. What happened there at the start?
I just got a little bit too much wheel spin early on, and then when I tried to shift up, I didn't manage to get second gear, and by the time I'd actually managed to get moving properly, I was trying to find Adam. I'd assumed that he'd maybe even passed me already, but I looked across, couldn't see him. Looked in my other mirror, I could see Daniel, and then I braked a little bit deeper to try and give space because I knew that we were 3 wide almost. And I just ran out of road, and I had to give space to Adam on the right. You had to use all the curb, and there's just no traction on the curb, so I couldn't accelerate out of turn 1. And he got ahead of me again.
Yeah.
But it was a close early part of the race, and the tires. I knew the tires were going to be difficult, but oh goodness me, they were very tough.
Yeah, we saw at the end of the race, pretty much throughout the whole race, you were able to stick within about a second, but then at the end you started to drop off a little bit, I guess. That's because of the tires?
Well, I quickly noticed that, I hadn't pushed super hard at the start. I wasn't going to try and throw it down the inside on turn 2 or anything, but I thought I might be able to save the tires a little bit, given that maybe my car had better traction, and maybe it would save the tires a bit better. And then middle way through the race, I realized that the tires were disappearing pretty quickly, especially that left rear. The last 2 tracks have just been killing the left rear tire. So towards the end, I started to try and push a little bit more, and I had one slide out of the last corner, and it just took so much of my tire life away. Sometimes if you get a bad slide on it, it'll take 3-4% off of your tire life, and that happened to me. And from that point on, I didn't want to make a mistake and spin, so I didn't push anymore, and I just backed off. And I thought, unless Adam makes a mistake, then I won't push. If he doesn't make a mistake, then I've got no chance, because if I push, I'm probably going to spin. But then I think maybe Daniel behind had an incident. I saw at the end he was a bit further back, so I could have pushed, but not worth it.
Yeah. So looking forward to the next race. Have you looked already at Barbagalo?
Not in this car. I've driven it before in, I think, GT3 cars. It's quite a fun track. It's very short. That last sector is, the big curb and the hills and everything. It is quite fun. These cars, obviously, they race there as well as Albert Park sometimes. So it should be a good track for the car. Just hopefully the curbs don't get in our way, and we can use them and hopefully have a good time there.
Yeah, looking forward to it. We'll be racing there in 2 weeks' time. Thank you, Ross, for having a talk with us, and congrats on P2 once again.
Thank you.
Then moving on to Daniel. I guess, Daniel, pretty quiet race for you, starting in P3 and pretty much being there for the whole race. You had a pretty big gap to the guys in front of you, and then Gerrit Martinez was quite a bit back from you as well. So how are your feelings on the race today?
Yeah, first of all, the qualifying, my lap wasn't too bad, but I think I could have been maybe a little bit faster than Ross, but I didn't manage to put one perfect lap together. Still, I was in P3, which wasn't too bad. the first corner, I had a pretty good launch after the lights went off. After the first corner, Russ made a little mistake, and there was no room on the left, of course, because there was no track anymore, and on the right side there was Adam. Otherwise, maybe I could have gone into the lead, but the other two guys, they were a little bit too fast for me. I tried to stay behind them. Adam made some mistakes in the first 2 or 3 laps, especially in the braking zones. So I thought maybe I can stay with them, but then they accelerated, or maybe, well, actually it was me not being very fast, and after 15 minutes more or less, the tires, especially the left rear, was getting, it didn't have any grip anymore, so I just backed off and tried to stay in P3.
Yeah, great job for managing to at least keep the car on the track. We saw some drivers that had some trouble with that. So congrats on doing that, of course, on getting P3 once again. How are you looking forward to the next race?
Yeah, I did just some laps there last week, 10 laps or so. The track is very short. It's quite fun, and let's see how it goes there.
Yeah, all right. Thanks again for talking to us, and again, congrats on taking that third place once again.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. So that's going to be about it for us today. We will be back with the next race in 2 weeks' time. Will be 21st of January. Like I said before, it's going to be at Bagalo. So very short track, only 7 corners. So that's going to be interesting. Let's see what the drivers will be able to do there. My name has been Felix van Hoff. I was your commentator for today. The broadcast was brought to you by Justin Mifsud, race director, Adrian Figalo, and stewarding we had George Muscat. Big thank you as well, of course, to Wave Italy sponsoring this race, and this broadcast was brought to you by Raceline TV and powered by Melita and Restream.io. Big thank you to everyone watching. Big thank you to the drivers, and I hope to see everybody in 2 weeks' time here for round number 3. Until then, take care.
Hi everybody, and a warm welcome to our Wave Italy Professional Training Center. Passion, full dedication, professional competence are the key points that move me and my team day by day in the effort to deliver the best driving simulation experience. As many of you already know, our technical and R&D headquarters is in Maranello, the famous land of motorsport. But today we are in our location in Verona, where we created a new proposal for the training of professional pilots.
Nice to meet you. I am a professional racing driver and professional coach. I was kart world champion in the endurance series, and I race and test many different racing cars, including Ferrari Formula 1. I have been working with simulators for years to improve my technique and to train a lot of talented drivers. Now I tell you what we can do for you. Here we have 2 professional simulators that can work together, so I can help you to simulate some different racing situations, as the start, overtaking different parts of the circuit, how to defend your position, and the most important, how to be consistent under pressure. With our know-how, we have developed the physical model of the vehicles with maximum accuracy. With this training, you will improve your skills and your sensitivity. Our tracks are in laser scan, and we also develop the different weather conditions. We can also work together with our live telemetry. I can watch many data and channels and tell you immediately what is fine and what you have to do better. You can train every day, and I look forward to passing you all my experience to help reach your best results. Remember, great results need hard training. I am ready, and you?
Okay then, thanks for your attention. We are ready to welcome you here. We do our best to have the champion of today and tomorrow. Ciao and see you soon.
I know you've got a secret like a child, you wanna keep it, but your shiny eyes reveal the simple truth.
For only €5 a month, experience every high-definition moment on your TV, tablet, phone or PC. Great teams, great moments, and so much more. TSN from Melita is your ticket to stay in the game. Visit melita.com/sports.